Do you want to make it easier for yourself to raise equity as an operator? Well, 9 years ago, this guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, or Gary V, he said that there was really two things that you really needed to do. He said social media, that was number one. And he said podcasting. He said, if you want to be successful, you need to make sure that you are active on social media and that you have a podcast. And I want to take that a step further. I actually believe, and I've seen 3 different pillars. I've looked into the most successful people in business, whether that's real estate investing or anything else. And they are actually not going to do the 2 things, which are social media and podcasting, like Gary Vee said. They actually have 3 things in common. So in this episode right now, we're talking about what those 3 are. And we're going to give you some stories to help really dive it in and hone it in so you really understand what it means and what it's saying. And then on the very next episode after this, then we're going to talk about one of those 3 pillars in great detail. And then the following episode, we're going to talk about another pillar in detail. And the last of the 4 total episodes is going to be really that 3rd pillar in the detail that you need to make sure that you're going to be successful in a holistic way for your business. So with that in mind, I want to share with you what are these 3 things. I've seen not just the 2 that Gary Vee said, but actually 3. So I want you to take a minute. If you don't mind, just take a minute and think about the most successful people that you know in a certain industry. Who do you think of in your industry? Who do you think of in another industry? And you could probably guess, what are those 3 pillars? What do those 3 pillars actually need to be? What could they be? I want to brief them to you right now. And then I have a true story to share with you about a guy who didn't follow Gary Vee's advice 9 years ago. And you'll be surprised at how bad things ended up for him. So the 3 pillars, in short, are meeting people in person, meeting people face to face. That's number 1. The second pillar is social media. And the 3rd pillar is thought leadership. And a lot of people that I might share these pillars with, and I've actually done this presentation, not just at conferences, but also additionally on other people's podcasts. And the 3 pillars of meeting in person, social media, and also your thought leadership platform, think of them, please, as a stool. You are going to sit on a stool. And it's a 3-legged stool, of course. And what would happen if somebody came and chopped one of those 3 legs off? The answer is that you'd fall right over. You couldn't balance on just those 2 legs. And I want you to be thinking of that, because the many times that I've presented this in the past to other people, the times that I've presented this, I frequently get the questions, well, Adam, if I only had to do one of those 3, which would it be? And I say, you'll fall over. You will fall over. If you want to do one of the 3, I'm sorry, but it is not going to be successful. You have to meet people face to face. You got to meet people in person. And when I say face to face, it means, yeah, you can meet literally in person, or you could meet on Zoom or Skype or whatever, right? You could meet face to face, and that will still count as in person. And when we talk about social media, that is you being active on social media. And we'll talk more about Gary Vee here in a moment. And when we talk about thought leadership, that could be anything that has other people talking about you, even when you're not in the room. This allows them to be able to share your content when you're not around. A thought leadership platform could be your book. It could be a podcast. Now, I'll probably focus more on podcasting because that's what I'm really good at. And your thought leadership platform could be a book, a podcast. What am I missing? It could be a blog, and it could be a YouTube channel. So it could be video, it could be written, it could be audio only, or it could be video, written, audio, and the other type of written. So a book or a blog. Either way, totally good. It needs to be one of those. So those are the 3 platforms. And I want to share real quick about this guy. Well, Gary Vee, by the way, says if you're not doing this by the year 2024, he said 9 years ago, he said, if you're not doing this by the year 2024, and wake up, we are, as I'm recording this, we're halfway past 2024. We're almost in 2025. 9 years ago, this genius, I mean, Gary Vee is pretty brilliant. He tends to make some really solid bets on things that are going to happen in the future. And he said back then, 2015, if you're not active on social media and if you don't have a podcast, you will lose in business. And I want to share a little bit of why. It's because the meeting in person, the thought leadership, and the social media collectively help people to know you, like you, and trust you. It allows you to be the person that they think about when they want to work with somebody in your field. If that is raising money for private equity, for real estate deals, for syndication, you need to be somebody who has, you're talking to people in person, you are using social media, and you have your thought leadership platform, whichever you choose for your thought leadership platform.